Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks bringing you a update on the S&P 500 index, the underlying index. This is sort of what I call basic big picture. I'm not sure if I'm going to week to week, although I have been doing it every week now for the last few. This is for the week of Monday, April 11th, 2022. And just so you know, I'm sure you're already aware, wickedstocks.com has a daily SPY report, the S&P 500 ETF. It is the most actively traded stock entity in the world, and it is highly, highly, highly correlated with all the levels I'm giving you in the S&P, all the signals, much more fine-tuned and precise because we're looking at daily charts and we're looking at upside Fibonacci's and channel formations that last only 5 or 7 days. I mean, it's a fine-tuned approach that gives you an early lead on big moves. This, though, is still valid. This is where I start when I'm looking at the daily SPY. I look at the big picture, the basic, and I work my way in from there. So let's jump to it. These are all weekly bar charts. Just a reminder that we have rising long-term support. We came close to testing back in January and February. We dropped within about 1% or so of this combination rising channel bottom and 1/3 speed line projected off the March 2020 COVID low, I like to call it. And so this is our trend defining support. This is our long-term support in the S&P 500 index, rising weekly this week at 4137.01 to 4207.66. I don't expect to see that this week, but really the bottom line here is we remain in a longer-term bull move above this. This is an area that can contain annual selling pressures and above which we can retest not only the 48.1862 all-time high from early January over the coming weeks, but over the coming months, perhaps move on to new highs and actually reach the channel top that is presently at 5137.22. And I don't expect to see that anytime soon either. But let's take a look at the closer view of what's going on with the chart. We've got these formations that if you've been watching the S&P 500 index analysis I put on YouTube now for the last few weeks, you know that several weeks ago we closed above this band of channel resistance. Now support begins at 4440.73, and the base of it is at 4347.10. It is the settlement above 43.4710 that I think was a turning point for the market through Q2. If tested this week, and I don't expect to see it unless we were to close any day below 4440.73, and then we just might reach it by Friday's close, 43.4710, able to contain selling through April, even through the second quarter, and from there we can push on to new pullback highs within a matter of weeks and test that all-time high at 48.1862 as we continue into later, I don't know, into the third quarter, let's put it that way. Let's zoom in here just a little bit, and the same image here, you see the band of channel support. 4440.73 FYI can contain weekly selling pressures. I put this 4545.86 price point as just sort of a milestone, as a bit of a sign of strength, a pivot point into next week. If we close this week, Friday, above 4545.86, that is the high settlement price so far following the January low, or sorry, the February low. You know, if we close above that, in other words, at a new pullback high settlement price, then we should continue higher. But I'm going to continue talking about this image and just sort of re-emphasize that 4440.73 able to contain weekly selling pressures, above which 4545.86 in reach this week. That is a level that could contain daily buying pressures, and if we settle Friday above it, then we should continue higher. Now, to the downside, if we settle any day this week below 4440.73, that 4347.10 level is in reach, where we can bottom out, as I say, through April, even through the balance of the second quarter, and from there turn higher, move higher beyond the recent highs within a matter of a month or so. And over the next few months, we can reach that 4818.62. Now, if we were to close below 4347.10 at the end of this week, then we should fall over the next few weeks to this long-term support region at 4137.01 to 4207.66, which once again can contain selling through the rest of the year, and above which a long-term bull move remains in effect. So just keep that in mind, that were we to close Friday below 4347.10, good April high, we should within several weeks then fall into that 41.3701 to 42.0766 long-term support region. Let's talk upside that in the event we do close this week Friday above 45.86, we should then next week, perhaps a couple weeks at the most, test that former channel bottom at 47.11.96. It's rising weekly, well suited to absorb weekly highs when tested, and that is a good level for day traders, for 3 to 5 day swing traders, for 2 to 3 week position traders. FYI, 2 to 3 week position traders can be positioned long right now above 4440.73, anticipating 4711.96 over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And inversely, if we close below 4440.73, you could either hold it down to 4347.10 or liquidate it and then reestablish a long position at 4347.10. I'm talking to 2 to 3 week position traders. 3 to 5 day swing traders closing below 4440.73. We have 4347.10 as a 3 to 5 day target. I'm going to leave you with this image because this is really sort of the bottom line. Holding above that band of channel support between 4347.10 and yet again above 4440.73 maintains a bullish market through the balance of the second quarter, despite what's been happening the last week or so. As we ease back and settled negative on the week, we even closed below the previous week's low. That's not a very bullish development. I'm going to say near term, like for the next week, 2 or 3, it's kind of neutral, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But if you're looking between now and say the end of the second quarter into mid-year, that band of support between 43.47.10 and 44.40.73 can absorb monthly, possibly quarterly selling pressures, and above which we should test that 48.18.62 all-time high over the next month or two, say by the end of the second quarter. And of course, if we close above 48.18.62, then the 51.37.22 rising channel top becomes what I would call probably a 2 to 3 month target that could be stretched to 3 to 5 months, because you can see that formation is sort of pulling away over time. I think that pretty much sums it up for this week's S&P 500 index analysis. I may be back next week for the S&P, but don't forget, I offer the daily SPY report on a daily basis, as you might guess, and it's only $25 a month, and we're still offering half off your first month. So you go to wickedstocks.com, click on premium membership, choose the daily SPY report, enter half off in the coupon code, all caps, all one phrase, HALFOFF, and you'll have half off your first month. And that is all I'm going to say about that. You have a great week, and we will talk soon.